After 4 laps of racing, it's Hamchi coming into the final stretch. As he rounds the final bend, he comes in to finish lap 5, and the crowd goes wild. Kia ora everyone, welcome back to the Iceboat racetrack, and we've made a few improvements, noticeably the track lap counter. So I'm going to go through that today and just run through the commands, and I'll put those commands down in the video description below if you just want to get down to business and see how it works. Okay, so the Franks have stopped jumping around. We changed their diet. So we started feeding them different things. Frank and not Frank, they've settled down, but there's this little levitation effect going on there. So obviously we just need to tweak that Frank diet, not Frank diet, just a little bit more. But I'll get onto that. Willie has been building an amazing, just continues to make this whole area look amazing. Our little lobby area, so that's going to look great. Look, little hot dog stands, got a little camper. Look at those wheels, those are cool. But anyway, let's get on with why you're probably here is to go have a look at our lap counter and progress that we've added. We've got racers enter here so they can easily join the scoreboards. We've got a track reset button, and as you would have seen, a lap counter that ticks up as I go around. So that puts my laps back to 0, and that makes me leave. So when I come up, I rock on up and I go, alright, time to play. Puts me on there and it'll add players to there, and when I'm done, it will leave. Now sometimes you might have bizarro players on here who have just left after 5 laps, and that's why we have the little track reset. And if I ever make this as a map download, it will also help reset all those wonderful scores. And we've got the get boat button. We'll get another racy engine. And over here I've got a little bit of lap counter test research and development, which is how I make the whole system work. So let's go explore this redstone. Let's get into some redstone. Well, actually it's not really redstone, it's more command blocks nowadays. Command blocks have made life a lot easier. And I mean, this is it. It's not that many. It's actually pretty basic, it's pretty straightforward. This is the one where when you walk over it, it resets your player information, and I'll just go ahead and jump into game mode C. I need to put my chat back on. Let's turn on chat, turn back on the commands only so you can see what's going on. Game mode C, boom. And so when you stand over this, it inverts down into here. I'm sure we went game mode C. There we go, perfect. And you'll see scoreboard teams join laps 1, so that's our lap counter that the player joins. We will also put the lap counter on the red sidebar, and there's this one over here, which will, is that the same? Nope, that puts your laps back to 0, just in case for any reason you have additional laps. And this one will put your the count to 1. Now this is a checkpoint counter. So in this system there are actually 2 scoreboards. There's a progress counter and a lap counter. The lap counter is the one you see right now, but the progress counter is the one that helps count out checkpoints, basically, make sure you've gone around the map correctly. And we've also got this system here, removes the lap counter and checkpoints. This re-adds those scoreboards and also adds the checkpoint because there's a couple of extra commands there. So commands in the comments, and maybe I'll link to a little forum post or something that basically tells you how to put it all through. Now you'd notice I've still got the progress counter up and running, and this is our little test system. It starts on -1, and the reason is when you go over the start line, I didn't want to trigger a lap count. When we go over there, it goes to 1, 2, 3, 0. 1, 2, 3, 0. Now we'll just jump back, and that should have been 1 lap. We've just gone through down there. Let's jump back down here, and we'll go back to our lap counter. There we go, 2 laps. So we'll go back up, boom, 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 run back over here, and we'll go around again, and it will do that. We'll just keep ticking up laps. So this exists out on that system. Basically, it's quite a simple setup, actually. It's a series of 3 commands, 5 command blocks spread out into the world that works it out. The first one we went over was one that checks if your account scoreboard, is between -1 and 0. -1 being that initial one, so we don't give you a lap straight away when you cross the start line, and it sets the count to 1. And this next one will check if count 1, then set count to 2, and again if count 2, set to 3. Funny thing happens when we get back to this red, which denotes the finish line. Let's have a look. When score 3 equals 3, goes back to 0. Now you could keep on going, like if you wanted to have more checkpoints to stop cheaters, this could go 4, and then the next one could be if 4, 4, then 5, but at some point you're going to go back to 0 when you cross this lap check thing here. One extra command block does the if 3, or whatever the last checkpoint is, then it says 1 there, but what it actually is it says add 1, so counts will go up, where these ones are actually set blocks. So confused yet? Don't worry, I'll put the commands in the bottom, ask questions, and I'll answer stuff like that. Now there's a funny criteria. This end block is a little bit different. You will notice on these ones, there's a case where if you put these two blocks in the wrong order, you'll actually set the checkpoint, the counter, back to 0 before increasing the lap, and the laps will never go off. And that's just a little redstone thing, which basically means blocks on the north and I think east will run before whatever that is. So when Minecraft runs, it'll run that block, that block, that block, that block, and that block, and it'll loop through those criteria. If you get these two in the wrong order, then it won't work. So if you get stuck, this last bit here doesn't sit, then it will just try moving them around. Try moving it to north and backwards and forwards again. That might help you fix it out. Let's go have a look at our racetrack really quickly. Let's go down and visit the first one, and we'll just fly down there. I've got Optifine running on this, and man, it just install Optifine. You'll make your life easier. You'll see my score has just gone to 1. Down this bottom hand corner, set scoreboard count for player MG to 1, and that's because I've just crossed an invisible checkpoint area here. Now this one's actually just over here, and so what I did is, you'll see the scoreboard's set if you're at this coordinates with a radius of 9, which is a big circle, and the score is 1 and 1, then set -1 and 0, set count to 1, being -1 being our initial starting score. And that circle is actually right about here. If you bring up the debug screen and look like it's looking at in the debug screen, I'll try and bring that up over here. It's looking at 41163,170, and it's a radius of 9. So I just counted 9 blocks out in each direction to give you a radius kind of thing. Now let's go have a look at the next one. Such a lovely little racetrack. Okay, next one over here, and you should see, bang! Look, I've triggered it already, and that one's just down here, and that triggered in the event that min1, count 1, boast rate count 2. And there's another one just over here. I think I've spaced these out in a way which makes it kind of a bit hard to cheat. Yeah, there you go. Again, let's have a look at the chords. 304, 64, 311, radius 9. It's probably a bit larger than it actually needs to be, but that's around here somewhere. I forget exactly where I put it. Let's head back. I triggered it. Triggered! And we'll head back to the start. This one's a bit different. This one's not a radius. So remember, a radius is a circle. And so if it was a circle, when we got to here, it would trigger when I got about to here. And I don't want it to do that. I wanted it to trigger within this box here. So bang! Look, 6. And there's no limit on counts because I'll let players set their own count limits. You know, they could do 3, 6, 8. Whoever reaches the 6th lap first wins. But what I did here was, it was a square, and it's a different kind of selector. Let's go back down and have a look. Where are those ones hidden? Well, you might have seen them down here a little bit earlier. It's actually these two. So remember, the lap incrementer needs to be north or possibly east of the checkpoint kind of thing. So this one works a little bit different. Again, instead of having the coordinates in the middle, we had them in the, I think it's northeastmost block, and then you have these dx, dy, dz. And what this means is starting at x, go across 3, go up 2, and then go down 8. So it creates like a square block instead of a radius, because I didn't want to trigger people before they hit the cross the finish line. And again, it's just add laps 1. Remember, add laps 1. Don't worry. Oh, comments. It'll be in the video description. And then set again, same thing here. Count back to 0, and that's essentially it. Also when checking out, this is just simply a thing that when you leave, it sets laps. What does it do? Teams leave. Yeah, it removes you from the laps scoreboard and removes you from the count scoreboard. So pretty straightforward. Show lap counter, show progress. Progress is 0. Fairly basic, but yeah, it works really well. It works with so much less redstone now, since I think was it 1.9 they added these things in, where you can change it from repeat needs redstone. Oh, that's slightly different. Chain done. Repeat impulse. How do we get back to the normal ones? That one? That's a normal one. Repeat needs a redstone. There you go. Simple as. So that's a really basic lap counter. Really easy to run. And it's got a regeneration script that runs in here as well. So hopefully, if I keep doing different tracks and stuff, I'll keep adding more maps. Of course, this is just a simple one over here where you just go get boat. Yeah, done. And we'll keep adding stuff as well. I would like to have a little hover Frank. I'd like to have a little play around with maybe some kind of timer. See how fast you could go around, but that's not my priority. Next thing I want to work on is actually maybe a different map. Map 2, and I'm going to be adding a few little traps and pistons and maybe bridges and stuff. But I don't want to put too many features into one map. I think each map should have its own particular flavor. So that's all for me now. Thank you for watching my video. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making more of these. Leave me comments in the description, things you think I could possibly improve on. Look, if you're having issues or building your own track, or just ask in the comments. I'll try and reply to as much as I can. But you know, one human being here. And yeah, so that's all from me. Goodbye for now. Later. Yeah, I'd like to thank my my racing manager and my racing team. They've really supported me through the season, really carried me. I would also like to thank my sponsor for giving me this incredibly well-run boat. And I'd like to thank the fans too. Yeah, because you know, it's the fans that make it all worthwhile in the end. That's right.